The pandemic is clearly having a devastating impact on our economy, and now there are questions, a lot of them, about what it will take to bounce back and how long that might take.
Well, to give us some insight tonight, we are joined now by accountant and business analyst Dan Geltrude. Hi, Dan. How are you? And welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
You know, the unemployment rate, we know, is climbing. It's so high right now as the effects of the coronavirus are felt across several industries. Is there a peak, and when will we hit it?
I don't think that we're hitting that peak just yet. Over the last 3 weeks on a national level, we've had 17 million people become unemployed, and the projections for this week of the report that we'll get tomorrow, the expectation is another 5 million. So we're talking about 22 million in basically 1 month. That's a staggering number. I think that number is going to continue to rise. I would not be surprised if we see national unemployment hit a number like 25%.
That is staggering, Dan, on its face. What do you tell those who are now without a job?
Well, it's no doubt a difficult time for a lot of people, but thankfully, the stimulus program seems to be targeting those that really need it. There is the small business, the PPP program, Paycheck Protection Program, which I think is going to be very, very helpful for small businesses. Small businesses, meaning 500 people or less. They employ actually half of the people in the United States. So those businesses getting forgivable loans, it's going to be enormously helpful. Then, of course, you have the stimulus checks going out to people this week as well. I think those things can help, but soon enough, we have to get to the point where we return to normal. Obviously, the president has been talking about at what point do we start to turn the economy back on. I just don't know how long we can last before we literally fall into a depression.
Well, there are fears that there's going to be a second wave of COVID-19 cases in the fall. Some even talking about a third wave coming as well. We've seen the impact on the stock market. You know, yesterday it was up. Today it's down. And that seems to be a common theme now. How do you think it's going to affect the stock market with a second wave in the fall?
If we have a second wave in the fall, I don't think that that's going to work out too kindly with the stock market. I've been saying for a while, you know, there have been people in Washington who said, look, we're going to have a bounce back in this economy and the stock market as well that's going to look like a V. We're going to hit the bottom and bounce back up. I don't think that's the case. I think that we're going to see a lot of W's along the way. And that's just how it's going to be. If we get into the fall and we've opened up the economy and we have another wave, a second wave, or possibly a third wave, I think that spells enormous trouble for the U.S. economy as well as the stock market.
Dan, I think in some sense change will be permanent in some ways. How do businesses need to evolve in a post-virus new world?
You're exactly right. We are going to go back to what's going to be a new normal. I don't believe that things are going to be the same post-coronavirus. And what I've been telling businesses, you have to start thinking about what post-coronavirus looks like, because it's going to be different. It's not about survival of the fittest, that the strong will survive. It's about those who can adapt are going to be the ones that survive. There are going to be plenty of new opportunities for businesses because there is going to be an evolution. And what I've been telling people, start thinking about that evolution now so that you can be prepared in 2 months, 6 months, or a year to take advantage of what the new normal will look like.
Very interesting stuff. Dan, thank you so much for your time tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.